Good morning, everybody. As you may be able to hear from my voice, I slept in. And also, you might notice, is not here. Am I on the right channel? Yes, part of love. Okay, so this morning, Ange has an appointment, and unfortunately, there was no way that we could change it. We've been waiting to get this appointment for a second. So I am so sorry. It is just me, but this gives us an opportunity to do a little like personal one-on-one, one-on-three, one-on however many people check in. And technically, Maya and Missy are here running around like little hellions. So there's that. What I wanted to do today, though, was use it as an opportunity to talk about some of these things about, being alone, how we deal with our alone time. And if anybody had questions, I wanted to give you my completely unfiltered answer to those questions. So as you're checking in, say hey, say what's up. Hello, everybody. I'll keep going over. Yes, Josie, I'm so sorry. Trust me. I wish she was here too. She had an appointment today. We weren't planning on not being able to do game night last Sunday or be doing our live on Tuesday. So the long and the short of it, if you saw us on Instagram, you may have noticed that we, as of Saturday morning, were not here wherever we are. We had driven up north almost to Canada, like up and deep in New England, like way up. And it was about 1,100 miles from where we were. I walked in from the gym on Friday night and she said, hey, I think we have to go get our stuff, where we were staying for the whole pandemic for up until now. And she said, we have to go get our stuff and we have to get it tomorrow. I said, okay, great. Sounds good. Let's go. Because I'm always up for a road trip with her, because road tripping with her is the most fun. If you ever get a chance to road trip with Ange, I take the opportunity. So either way, on Saturday we left. We drove like 500 plus miles. Sunday, we drove the other 500 plus miles and then got our stuff, loaded it into a U-Haul. I learned to tow a trailer, so always learning new skills. And then we drove back down and across and all that. And 2,200 miles, 2,300 miles later, here we are. Unfortunately, over that time, we couldn't do our live because on Sunday, or our game night, because on Sunday we were loading all of our stuff out and into the trailer. And by the time we got done with that, it was super late. And then on Tuesday, we were driving through what was left of that polar vortex nor'easter thing that was happening, which, oh my God. So we also had to push a bunch of appointments, and we had been waiting on this one particular appointment for Angelina for a little bit. Nothing crazy, don't worry. It was just a very good doctor that we wanted to see, and she ended up getting in, and they fit her in today. So unfortunately, she's not here, but I am here, and I know that is a consolation prize at best. But I wanted to use this as kind of a Q&A for us to talk about. And I apologize as more people are coming in and out. I'll probably be repeating myself a little bit, but yeah, I wanted to use this as a Q&A. If you guys have any questions about love, about being alone, we're here alone today. It's going to be my unrefined, unfiltered response. And if not, we can hang out for a second and then call it a quick one, because I know I love these far more with Angelina as well. So that's where Ange is. Good morning. I will tell Ange that you miss her and that you send her well wishes and all that good stuff. Hey, Fachet, Megan, listening whilst on the exercise bike. Boyfriend keeps trying to hog the bike. Nice, Courtney. I love that. I hate winter. See, I gotta say, I love it. However, I did love this, but I had this kind of odd dichotomy going on in my brain, like these two different voices in my head while we were driving, because we're driving through the worst storm I've ever driven in. And luckily, there were very few cars even on the road. There was a literal ban that was up on all of the, you know how when you're driving on highways, it'll have like the DOT signs that'll say, you know, like this is what's happening ahead, construction ahead, and it's like blinking those orange amber lights. Well, they said there's a tractor trailer ban. And so there were no tractor trailers. There were like very few. If they didn't have a full load or something, they weren't allowed to be on there because it was that dangerous. Winds were crazy. You couldn't see the road, so you were just driving on snow. So I kept trying to get behind whatever the biggest truck I could and just drive on their tracks. But I have to say that even with all of that, like, God, I love it. I absolutely loved it. That was such a trip. What a crazy experience to, like, we've road tripped. I mean, our Jeep literally has 130,000 miles on it. And we've put 100,000 of those on there, which is insane to know that we've traversed 100,000 miles together, like as a metaphor for kind of the emotional journey of it all. Hi, Mel. I absolutely will send that love to Ange. Yes, thank you, T. I will send that love. All right, so let's start with simple questions. What's everybody's favorite season? I'm gonna guess fall, and rightfully so. It's a pretty good one. Is anybody here like a spring summer person, or does anybody like really, really despise any of the seasons in particular? I love the snow, but I hate it when it turns to ice. So my walking boots have become my best friend for work when it snows. I like that. Yes, that's one of the things about living in New York. When Ange and I met, I think all of you here know this, but when Angelina and I met, we were doing West Side on Broadway in New York, and I hated living in New York when I met her. And one of the reasons was because the only time that I had been there before was in January, when I was in the latter years of high school. We would go on a trip up there, and it was cold as fuck. It was fucking cold and windy, and then it would get icy. Like it would snow, and if you've ever seen snow in New York in the movies, it looks beautiful. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. And it is for like an hour. And then all of the like road oils and the trash, it just gets everywhere. And it's suddenly like this gray mess. Ugh. All right, summer. All right, Courtney and T are for summer. Fachette, mine is fall, all those beautiful colors. I agree. And it also depends on where you live though, right? Like fall is stunning when, so I was born and raised in Georgia. I went to school in Cincinnati, and I always remember that driving to and from, it's only like a 6-7 hour drive. So I would do it all the time. And I remember that drive during fall, like driving through those trees. And then obviously up in New England, like where Ange is from, fall up there, those trees and the changing colors, it's incredible. I hate summer, too hot here in the south of France. Understandable. I mean, but I feel like okay, so Josie, what's the best season in the south of France? Like, what's your favorite one there? Did I already miss it up there? Because you're not into summer. It's too hot. How is it in the winter? Is the winter beautiful? Is it the spring? Is it like just warm enough? Because it's the south of France. You hear about it all the time. And I imagine that summers there are just incredible. But I have never been, which is a strange thing to say. I've only been to Paris. And I didn't go see the Eiffel Tower. I wanted to wait until I could see it with Ange. Like, what? Those experiences, man. I talk about, the 100,000 miles that we've traveled together, but all the things that we have left to do, I'm so stoked about. That's what I'm excited about. Kayla, spring. Okay, you are the first person that I can think of that says spring is their favorite. And I know a lot of people say that because it's new beginnings, it's this kind of feeling of bloom, and it's something that as I'm getting older, I feel like more connected to spring in a way. I love the transitions. I kind of love them all. I can't lie. I used to have like a distinct favorite, but then I start waiting on just that one. And I'm not for that anymore. I seem to find, and that maybe it's because I'm, fortunate that I have Ange and the girls and, a beautiful life, so to speak. And that I get really excited about all of them, because every time I think, oh, well, I really don't like spring, then I'm like, oh, wait, no, spring is Easter. And we always have like a blast on Easter. And then I think of winter, obviously Christmas, obviously Maya's birthday, fall, all of the rest of our birthdays, me, Ange, and Missy. Ange, me, Missy, either way. For chat, yes, I live in a mountain area, so it's stunning. I mean, I can only imagine. Mel, what's summer? I'm British. We rarely get a summer. Well, that's okay. Like, it's like Californians when I would be out there, they'd be like, "Wait, why do you have a winter jacket?" I was like, "Because seasons are a thing everywhere else. Like, seasons happen. It does get cold, and in LA, if it drops below 50, everybody freaks out and is just in a panic over how cold it is." Courtney, I live on a hill, so when it snows, it can be difficult to get out the car. And in summer, we get to use our conservatory. However, in the Northwest, mixture of weather. Yeah, Northwest. Like, wait, now, are you talking Pacific Northwest? Are you in the U.S., Courtney? I should know this, and I apologize. My kiddo was born in April, and we love Easter. That's awesome. Yes, Easter's the best. That was one that growing up, I lived, obviously I lived with my mom, and then I went and visited my dad on the weekends. And then holidays were, my mom has two brothers. And so Thanksgiving was at our house, and Christmas was at another uncle's house. And then Easter was the other big one, and that was at my other uncle's house. And I remember kind of dreading it, not because of my uncle at all. And he had this beautiful house, and he was always super cool, and he ended up like helping me work on cars and stuff. But the thing was, they would do an Easter egg hunt every year for the kiddos, because there were a bunch of us, 4 or 5 of us. Not, I guess, a bunch, but to me that was a bunch, because I was an only child in that respect. But that gave me so much agita. Hunting for Easter eggs was never fun. I never liked that. And that's something I'm telling you here, first time, right now. I'm unburdened by the guilt and the weight of carrying that. I genuinely did not like doing Easter egg hunts. It always felt just so like competitive. And maybe that was just, I guess, my family or whatever, but fuck. But now I love Easter. Not, for nothing. Like, get to watch her and 10 Commandments and like a bunch of movies that I just absolutely love. I'm a sucker for those. What do we got over here for chat? Retracted, Courtney, retracted. I do not like heat at all. I do like fruits in summer. Like my favorite cherries. Okay, what kind of cherries are those? The chat, because you know all about everything. Like I feel like I want to know what those cherries are. Kayla, spring in the Midwest. Yes. Okay. Yes, absolutely. And depending, especially, I'll say this, depending on what part of the Midwest, if you're willing to say that. Emmanuel Francisco, I love autumn, especially the sunsets. I mean, that is really true. Now, where we were up in the mountains, up in like the northeast, where we spent like the last almost a year, wow, the sunsets there and being able to see from the top of the mountain, like all of the trees changing in the colors like that was something that driving through them was one thing, but being above it and just walking around and seeing those sunsets and the lights reflecting off and being able to see mountain ranges miles away, that, you're right. Absolutely, Emmanuel. I mean, come on, Courtney in England. Oh, it's 5:14 p.m. over there. Amazing. I'm an Easter baby, Mel. My birthday is on Easter Monday this year. Nice. Oh man, yeah, Easter's the best. There's just something, and Ange introduced me to that, 100%, or reintroduced me. Obviously, I'd heard of Easter, but also I was raised Greek Orthodox, and so Greek Easter is a week different time-wise. I guess the calendar is different. Minnesota. All right, cool. Yes. Oh. The first time that the first time that I bungee jumped was right outside of Minneapolis, St. Paul. I was driving, I forget what tour I was doing, but I was driving out of there, and I think I had my truck then. I used to have a F-150 Lightning, if anybody, the SVT Lightning. It's a great truck. If you don't know it, check it out. It looks ridiculous now because cars look different. It's fine. It's a great storytelling. So the first time that I bungee jumped, I was driving out of the Twin Cities, and I forget where I was going, but I had pulled over because I saw some sign about bungee jumping, and I was like, I should go do that. Like, why not? Except it was just in a parking lot. Like, it was just like I don't know. They set up like a crane essentially with an elevator that just took you up, and you just jumped out. And I remember pulling in and being like, I should probably pay more than $15 to bungee jump my first time. Like, shouldn't I sign a waiver or something? And then they had this other thing where you would hang and they'd lower you to like, I don't know, let's say 60 feet off the ground. And you were just like harnessed into this thing. And then you would just pull a cord and just free fall into a net. I think that one was actually scarier. Wow. And then I got to bungee jump again in Quebec, but right at the beginning of winter, in like a rock quarry. And so they actually did have a crane at this quarry, and you would walk out onto this, essentially, I don't even know, this jet out from the top of the rock quarry, which is filled with water. And they'd be like, do you want to dunk or not? And I was like, yes, I would like to dunk. And so they, lock your ankles up, and I jump, and you slow down just enough to where you get submerged, like you hit the water, but not super hard. Like you're slowing down, and then, and if this is my body, I guess like this, it was like this much of my body went in the water, and then you go up and you're just riding it again. It was crazy. And then extremely, extremely cold, like so quickly. You guys ever bungee jumped? Anybody got any cool bungee jumping stories? Sorry, this is absolutely all over the place, but this is what happens when I am allowed to be alone. I just will ramble. Easter Baby, Minnesota, Accrington, and Lancashire. I've never been there. I have my reasons. I don't like spring mainly because I live in Tornado Alley. Totally understandable, T. Chat, May and June, they're delicious. I have a garden a few kilometers away. There I have all those apple trees, pear, peach trees. I have 2 cherry trees. Come on, Chat. Come on. You're too fucking cool, man. You're too cool. Damn, I'm so jealous. Courtney, I mainly hate winter because of the snow. On Monday, we tried to get a snow day, but my tutor, Dan, said the internet isn't affected by the snow. Well, it was worth a try, and that is absolutely fair, Courtney. And the internet can totally be affected by snow. I don't know how, because I don't know how any of it works, but I'm sure it could somehow. But damn, good try. Our internet was affected by snow because every hotel we went to had very slow internet, and there was no way that even if we had been there on time to do the lives, that we could have. And I wanted to try, and I apologize that we weren't able to, but I'm thankful you guys are all here today. Also, good news, we're doing game night Sunday. Yes, in our new digs, and I am very excited to tell you something that Ange will not know. We are playing Jenga because she doesn't know what it is. I'm going to see if I can get like novelty-sized pieces, but probably just a regular Jenga game. But go on and start placing your bets on who's going to win. Not to give you inside information, but it's me. I'm going to win. Actually, she probably will. Damn it. She's good at everything. Every game that she doesn't even understand when we start playing, she wins by the end of it. I was wrong. It was Tuesday. Gotcha. Chat. Great. Yeah, 2 years ago, I had a funnel cloud right over where I live. Luckily, no tornado dropped. Whoa. No bueno. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad. I'm actually happy to hear that. That's good. I'm glad that you're safe. Mel, I love Jenga. I always lose though. Well, see, this is the thing. You gotta play. You kind of gotta play to lose in a way. You understand what I mean? Like you gotta play fast and loose with that. I feel like I'm obviously not very good at it. Otherwise, I'd probably have like a play to win strategy. But it's more just we lived in Vegas for a long time, and there is a place there that has those giant Jenga pieces. Like they're huge. And I'm assuming they're balsa wood because they're pretty light. But when those things fall, it's crazy because they're like, it's like 3 feet tall and you put it on a table and you're like pulling each piece out. It's amazing. It's such a trip. So I want to get those, but I don't think I'm going to make them. And I don't know where to buy them. Maybe I can make them. Not this week though. Yeah, that's the issue, not my lack of tools or construction space or abilities. Sorry, I lost my place. Mel of Jenga. Do not know what kind of game is Jenga. So for those of you who don't know, Jenga is, it's a bunch of like little rectangular wooden pieces that are stacked 1, 2, 3, and then the next ones are this way 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, all the way up into this little stack, and you pull one piece at a time, and whoever knocks it over loses. So if you I guess have an engineering degree or a background in understanding rudimentary physics, maybe you'll be really good at it. I just love it because it's nerve-wracking because you'll just be tapping one of those pieces out because it doesn't matter where you take from. Some of these things will balance in crazy ways. If you have not played Jenga, get a Jenga board. I don't know what they call it. Jenga stack. Get Jenga. Get it and play it with us while we're playing it. Try and pull out each piece that we're pulling out. Because that's a game that I absolutely love playing. I don't like doing a lot of it's contrary to the fact that we have a game night. I'm not usually a big fan of those kind of things, except with John and Nicole. But Jenga is one that like I'll meet a total stranger at a bar, and if they've got giant Jenga, I'm like, fuck it, let's go. Courtney, I love Jenga. Tend to always feel, oh, you're feeling for the loose pieces. Now here's a rule that I have always had thrust upon my Jenga games, which is if you touch one, like you can kind of, I feel like you pick the one you pick, because once you start pulling on it, like I say, you got to commit to it, but to each their own. I get it. They don't have to fall. Yes, exactly. Thanks, Colt. I love Jenga, though I'm not good at it. I always lose. Hey, you know what? This is a mentality issue, everybody. We are not losing at Jenga. We are learning how to win in the future at Jenga, I think is probably the best way to try and reframe that. Okay, so I've run to the absolute end of this line of thought. But let's go through the seasons real quick. I want to do one little thing, and I just want to get y'all's opinions on how do you feel when, let's start at the beginning of the year, or the first change of seasons in the year, which is spring. What kind of feelings does spring bring up for you? Like the episode of The Refinery that we filmed last night that's coming out tomorrow is, again, I love these talks. I absolutely love them. I hope that you are able to tune in and that you dig them. But there's something about spring that for me has always been, not always, but now is exactly what it is. It's this renewal. It's this new kind of birth and growth and change and possibility and a new perspective, because the year changes mid-season. And so I've never really vibed with it the same way. Like New Year's Eve isn't a huge deal in my brain the way that it is for a lot of people. That's not to say that that's wrong. You know, everybody finds their growth and change where they find it. But, and maybe I'm just like that to be, maybe I'm hardwired to be kind of contrarian, but I, like the OCD part of me loves the new year, because I'm like, okay, cool, fresh slate, I can do this. But the growth part of me feels like, well, we're in the middle of this actual season of this thing that's continual, but spring feels like this, like this kind of shedding of the skin. And I really love that, because it leaves possibility. It leaves room for possibility. It's kind of forced possibility, forced growth. Yeah, I'd like to see if anybody else has any things. I feel renewed emotionally, way better. I love that, Fachette. Spring symbolizes a fresh start, and I love seeing flowers blooming, especially daffodils. Very cool. Very, very cool. I like that. Courtney, I also love summer because my birthday is on July 1st. It's summer. There you go. Well, happy early birthday. Very, very early. All right. So we moved on from spring to summer. Courtney brought us right there. So summer, what does summer do for y'all? Like, and obviously it depends on where you are, which is why absolutely, if you have the ability, travel. I read something somewhere when I was younger that said travel, it makes you a more interesting person, but I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that I get it. You know, it's quotable. So, but travel, it's what you do when you travel. It's how much you invest in being there. I remember how little I learned in my first 2 weeks in Tokyo, because I was like, no, I'm going to Outback Steakhouse and I am going to McDonald's and ordering a Big Mac with a Tamago Mac and getting a Big Mac with an egg on it and going back to my room and hiding because I don't know what I'm doing here. And by the end, I was finding whatever ramen shops I could anywhere and finding secret restaurants and bars and going down to the fish market in Tokyo at 4 a.m. and watching them do the tuna auctions. And there's so much. Whenever I travel, I always love. Sorry, this is a very rambly episode. Thank you for sticking with it. I always love traveling. I love to go to local restaurants and bars because I feel like that's kind of in the food and drink of a place. You start to get to know the people, right? Because the things that sustain themselves there are sustained by the people that live there. So the things that are popular, the people that you'll meet in those places have always been one of my favorite parts of traveling, which is probably no surprise considering I'm obsessed with food and drink. Like we that's like a huge part of our relationship. And I think that's probably our favorite thing about traveling together. Like every time we talk about our favorite memories in a place, it's a mixture of adventure, like whatever the adventure of being there was, but also just the food and drink, wherever that is. That's pretty much what we gravitate towards. T-Bone, my birthday's in the summer, which is another reason I like it. We were talking about summer. I totally got off track. Sorry about that. Fachet, and happy early birthday, T. Fachet, wildflowers in the fields in the summer. They're amazing. I bet. So my dad lived in North Georgia, and there would be, as you were driving up there in North Georgia, there would just be fields of flowers in the middle. So they're like, down in Atlanta, there's, it's a city. So there's, usually like concrete dividers and just as many lanes as possible. But up there's 2, maybe 3 lanes. But usually it's just 2 lanes if you're on the highway. And especially back in the days of yore, there would just be flowers running along just miles and miles of driving. And it was like an hour and change from my mom's house. And I remember loving seeing, and I think that I don't know anything about flowers, but they were just beautiful. I remember just yellow. There were yellow flowers, and then there would be blooms of wildflowers, like there were pinks and purples with the little, they're not sunflowers, like little yellow sunflowers. Is that a daffodil? I'm so bad at this. But I remember seeing that and just being like, man, this is just the most beautiful thing. So I love that. Courtney, my birthday is in July as well. Oh my God. No, we're so similar. Sunshine and sitting out in the garden in deck chairs. Yes. Now, Courtney, I will say this. Oh, hold on. I'm going to keep that door open. Mel, my favorite part of summer is barbecuing and sitting outside surrounded by friends. Yes, I'm talking daffodils. Okay, cool. So daffodils, perfect. Just rows of daffodils on the highway. But yeah, like that. So both of those that Mel and Courtney said, that's what I love that about sitting in water, sitting at a beach, sitting around a lake. Because summer is, in the South is about lakes, right? Like just lake life. Now, I didn't grow up doing lake life, but I absolutely love it and appreciate it now because Ange introduced me to it in a big way. One of my uncles had a lake house that we visited a couple of times, but like going out on the lake and like wakeboarding and skiing and those things. I mean, you guys have seen our pictures. We as often as we can, we're out on a lake in the summer, and yeah, just sitting around with friends. I love that. But that is actually one of the things that I love most about fall and winter. And that's sitting on, I have a very vivid memory of sitting on, my dad used to have a cabin in the woods. and just sitting on, he still does actually, that's a different one. But sitting on the front porch. And he had a couple of rocking chairs. He loves to rock in his rocking chair, and has since he was a little kid. And he would just sit there in the mornings, just rocking back and forth with his coffee, and just sitting out there in the woods. I mean, watch deer go by. There was a wild boar one time when I was just out playing in the woods, like that. It was just the best feeling though. Like, I'll tell you what I love in summer, a good rain. A good rain on a tin roof when you're sitting on the porch in the summer is the best. That is the best. And the same thing, wrapping up in a blanket in winter and just watching the world exist and just sitting there quietly and enjoying that. And whether it's, spring with the flowers, or summer on the beach or the lake, or fall watching the leaves change, or winter with the snow, taking that time with, yourself or with those that you love, just sitting around, whether it's a barbecue, a beer, or just sitting there, is my absolute favorite. If you haven't done it lately, I encourage you, jump out there and do it, because nothing like it. Pichet, we have a thermal waterfall here, not too far. It's amazing there. Oh my God, the smell of warm summer rain. Yeah, there's something about it. Like, that is one thing that I am very much looking forward to getting, where we are currently having our, we've had a pod in Los Angeles. P.S. Pods, not sponsored by them, but they are awesome. We had one in LA for like the last 2 years, 3 years, 2 years. And we're having it sent to where we are now. And hey, y'all, so sorry. I know, you are ferocious in your little fucking pajamas. Sorry about that, everybody. Missy got upset. Maya's in her bed. She has her right to be upset, to be fair. Either way, I kind of lost my train there. Oh, the waterfall in spring, and just taking that time. There's something so special about, finding good spots in nature. One time I accidentally found a nude beach. That's a story for another time. All right. Courtney, going way off topic, I've recently started running myself and have just my Deathly Hallows medal for running a mile. Just thought I would throw it out. That's awesome. Congratulations. That's huge. Amazing job, Courtney. You guys, I should probably go. I know she's going to need a lot of attention. Thank you for being here today and hanging out. I know they're the best. We actually talk about dogs in the refinery episode, so check that out tomorrow. And just have a beautiful day, y'all. I love y'all. Thank you for being here. Jeez, you've got to be trying to get so close to my mouth. I'm trying to say goodbye over here. I will give y'all's love and all that good stuff. The outfit I'm missing. Yeah, well, it got cold in here last night because I turned it way down. And she really likes wearing pajamas, I think. I don't I haven't asked her, but she always smiles when we put them on. So, she's such a monster. Oh, yeah. No, she's got 1,000 Christmas jumpers. We call her Kevin because she looks like Kevin from Home Alone when she's running around in this being a little fresh monster. All right. I will talk to you guys later on. Have an awesome day. And thanks for being here. If you have any ideas for upcoming episodes that you want to see, let us know. And other than that, just have an awesome day. Bye. What are you doing, crazy girl?